Hello, my friends. Andy, coming to you live from Orange County, California. See if I can get some of the stuff. I'm practicing with my new gear here to see if I can get the timing down a little bit better and get my sound correct. I don't have to wear these headphones all the time, only when I'm running some of those some of those sound effects. Hey, there's something going on with Facebook today. This has been like the third time today I've been dealing with some long delays on going live. And even when I go to check notifications, it says it says like 50, 60 notifications, things that have come in with people either commenting or liking something that I posted. And then I click on it and it says there's no new notifications. It's been doing that all day. I'm not sure if that's happening to you or not, but so I apologize for some weirdness. Some of it is all me. There's other parts of it that are completely out of my control. If you've not had a chance to go visit the USPatriotProject.com, you should do so. Just be aware that we're going to be collecting as best as we possibly can people's information, name and email address. Why? Not because we're trying to stalk you or we're going to try to sell you some, Viagra or something like that. That's not the intention. It is so that we can let you know where we're going to be. Because at some point, I have a very strong feeling that we'll be taken off the air in some form or fashion, and so it's the way that we can communicate with you and let you know where it is that we're going to be going and what it is that we're going to be doing. Now, I need to put up this other graphic, but it's going to have Hedia's name on there, but that's okay. And that is this one here. Oops, where the heck did it go? Hold on. Oh, there it is. I knew there was one on there. patriotcoms.org. Now, at the USPatriotProject.com, you're going to see at the very top, it says community. If you want to get in that community where you can communicate, say hi, hey, what's going on, ask questions, do whatever, you're going to want to go to patriotcoms.org. Now, if for whatever reason you type in patriotcoms.org and it says there's an error or something like that, put in the 3 W's patriotcoms.org. I'm not sure why some people are having problems going to just the patriotcoms.org. It's supposed to go there without the W's, but if for some reason it doesn't, add the W's and then put your name, or first it's going to ask for email address, hit submit, and then it'll ask for your name, and then you'll have to create a password, and that will get you into the community, and it will allow you to receive a newsletter that we'll be coming out with in the next, maybe the next couple of weeks, where it has been jam-packed with stuff going on today. So that's what that's all about. All right, today's devotional, we're going to be reading from My Utmost for His Highest, by Oswald Chambers. And every so often I like to tell people that he didn't actually write the book. As far as I know, everything that I'm learning is that he was a pastor some years ago. I mean, like in the 1800s, I believe. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research. I keep threatening that I'm going to do a little bit on him. But when you see his picture, it clearly is done somewhere in the either really early 1900s or the somewhere in the 1800s. Well, what happened? He passed away. His wife took his journals and created the book Utmost for His Highest. The words are all Oswald Chambers, except for his wife organized it and put it into a daily devotional. It is amazing. It was given to me by a friend of mine named Bruce Lynn, who is a great friend who has a very interesting position, I guess that's the word. I was going to say part probably in my Christian faith. He's the one who probably brought me to my very first thoughts of being a Christian at Anaheim Police Department in the hallway there, checking out my patrol car. He approached me and said, "Hey, Andy, you know, Jesus loves you." And I wasn't in a position really at that point I was a recovering Catholic. I was basically agnostic at the time. And he came to me. It wasn't until just about a year, not even a year ago. It's been about 7-8 months ago, ran into Bruce at the church I've been attending, Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills. He works there. And he saw me there, and we met for lunch a day or two after, and he gave me my Utmost for His Highest. So it's just an interesting, and there's other connections, which I'll share with you later. Hedy and I met because of Bruce Lynn also. So I almost said Bruce Lynn also. So he has a long history. This guy really does exist. At some point, maybe I'll bring him on and have him explain his side of the story about what happened early on, and then what's going on with him, and maybe some other stuff that he may want to share with us. So I went ahead and took down that frame. I'm going to bring up the passage here for our devotional today. It's called called by God. And I really like this one. It gives me an opportunity to talk about something that I want to say it bugged me necessarily, but it was a thing that I was thinking, and I'll explain, but it really does. It solves a problem that I had with some Christians, with some pastors, with some authority, some people that were what we would call an authority in the Christian faith. And some of the things I said, and I hope it'll make sense when I get there. So go ahead. Oh, other thing, comment, please. When you're on, comment, say hi, tell me where you're from. It'll show me your name as long as you're not. I don't think I have any private groups that I'm broadcasting to. So no private. So show me your name and everything. But tell me where you're from. Tell me what you think about the passage. If this touches you in any way, if you have any thoughts on it, please comment. The comments are one. It lets me know your thoughts, and I learn from you because sometimes you guys bring up some pretty good points. But also, it helps get the word out and lets people see this, because the more people that comment, the more the social media tyrants believe that this must be interesting and other people may need to hear it. As long as you're not talking about what they don't want you to talk about, as long as you're not doing that, they'll push it out. But if you're talking about something that they don't agree with, then they will stifle it and what we call throttle it in the business. But so let me go ahead and make this a primary screen there. I'll bring in the devotional, and look at this picture. This picture is amazing. I love that picture. I want to go there. I always wonder where these places are, and you have to guess it's somewhere like in Wyoming or Montana or Alaska. It's just a beautiful shot. I'm not really. If anybody knows, type that into the comments. So, called by God. I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" Then I said, Here am I. Send me." And this is from Isaiah 6:8. The devotional says, God did not direct his call to Isaiah. Isaiah overheard God saying, "Who will go for us?" The call of God is not just for a select few, but for everyone. Whether I hear God's call or not depends on the condition of my ears, and exactly what I hear depends upon my spiritual attitude. Many are called, but few are chosen. That's out of Matthew 22:14. That is, few prove that they are the chosen ones. The chosen ones are those who have come into a relationship with God through Jesus Christ and had their spiritual condition changed and their ears opened. Then they hear the voice of the Lord continually asking, "Who will go for us?" However, God doesn't single out someone and say, "Now you go." He did not force his will on Isaiah. Isaiah was in the presence of God, and he overheard the call. His response, performed in complete freedom, could only be to say, "Here am I, send me." Remove the thought from your mind of expecting God to come to force you to be. Let me try that one more time. Remove the thought from your mind of expecting God to come to force you or to plead with you. When our Lord called his disciples, he did it without irresistible pressure from the outside. The quiet yet passionate insistence of his "follow me" was spoken to men whose every sense was receptive. If we allow the Holy Spirit to bring us face to face with God, we too will hear what Isaiah heard, the voice of the Lord. In perfect freedom, we too will say, "Here am I, send me." Down at the bottom, it's called Wisdom from Oswald Chambers, and it says, "Beware of pronouncing any verdict on the life of faith if you are not living it." Another strong statement right there. And so, my gosh, and so what? Just immediately, what comes to me is this thought that I often had when people say that they were. I want to make sure and get the words right. What he actually used them here, and that is, will somebody say that they are the chosen ones, or that even other people refer to other people as the chosen ones? And when I've always heard that, and I think most of it was because I had no faith, right? I maybe had proclaimed faith as an early Christian, or even before that, when I was agnostic, I had no faith. And you would hear somebody say, "They're the chosen one." You would go, give me a break. You really think that God chose that person? Or if it's the person referred to themselves as the chosen one, that's pretty bombastic of you. That's pretty egotistical of you, that you think that you were the chosen one, that God looked on the earth and said, you know what, I'm going to pick you. And this comes also in a time where there's many people think that Christians have chosen President Trump, or God has chosen President Trump. Now, there's and I want to make sure that this is very clear, that this passage clarifies this for me. I don't know if it clarifies it for you, but it is not that what we think, right? There's so many things that I'm discovering through reading the Bible, spending time with Hedia as we talk about it, and she explains some things that she has some experience in and what she's learned, is that we tend to think of things in a very I don't want to say old-fashioned way, but in a way that is what's causing us the most confusion, right? We look at things from an earthly standpoint. We look at things from an egotistical standpoint. We look at things from our flesh. And so sometimes we say things or we read things and we think, oh, we get like, we step back and we go, what? But when people have said, well, you know, I've seen messages on Facebook and other social media platforms, and even in other things that other people have said, and said, well, you know, Trump's the chosen one. And at first you're going, no, he's not. He surely is the president of the two people that were running for president, that he's the one that God would say is the one that he would prefer be in power, because he is a pro-life president. At least he has proven to be a pro-life president, right? He believes in law and order. He gets out the facts, and he calls people that are telling untruths, right? He calls them out, right? And so there's many things that he does that are in line with the Christian faith, regardless of what you think or not. And there's people I'm sure watching that are saying, no, he is, but he says horrible things like I do. Andy, you say horrible things. Our pastor last night, he said something last night, and then Hedia elbowed me. Did you hear what he just said? And, you know, on occasion, we may call somebody a name, or to get their attention and say, what are you being so stupid for? Why are you being such an idiot? Why are you being so stupid? Right? It's just one of those things that we use here. All right, so let me get back on track. So when we go back to this idea that either somebody says, I'm the chosen one, and I can say right now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a chosen one. Okay, I'm going to tell you that. I would not have said that before I read this passage today. Or that Hedia is the chosen one. Hedia too is the chosen one. I believe that probably Amy is the chosen one. I believe that, who else is on here? Priscilla is the chosen one. All right. Hedia is on. Hi, Hedia. Love you. Jody. She's probably the chosen one. And Diane is a chosen one. All right. Who else is on here? Who did I miss? I don't want to miss anybody, because they're going to get offended. Those of you that are watching that aren't commenting, if you're watching this and you are a Christian and a believer, a strong believer, and you are walking with Christ, and you are now like me, where when you read the Bible, you feel the Bible, you actually hear the Bible speaking to you, you see in your life what is said in the Bible is actually happening in your life, or it's happening currently in your world, as opposed to what I used to do when I read the Bible and it was just a bunch of words written on a piece of paper, several pieces of paper, right? That it's completely different. So what I'm hearing is what Oswald is saying here, and even God in the Bible is again, I'm going to read it again. Whether I hear God's call or not depends on the condition of my ears. And exactly what I hear depends upon my spiritual attitude. Many are called, but few are chosen. That is, few prove that they are the chosen ones. The chosen ones are those, listen carefully, this is the important part. The chosen ones are those who have come into relationship with God through Jesus Christ and have had the spiritual condition changed, their spiritual condition changed, and their ears opened. Then, and only then, they hear the voice of the Lord continually asking, who will go for us? However, God doesn't single out someone and say, now you go. He did not force his will on Isaiah. Isaiah was in the presence of God and he overheard the call. His response, performed in complete freedom, can only be to say, here am I, send me. So again, just a reminder is that because we are the chosen one, because we have chosen to walk with Christ, we have chosen to read the Bible as a living, breathing book, word of God. And because of that, we are the chosen one. It's not like God said, Andy, you're the chosen one, or Amy, you're the chosen one, or Hedia, you're the chosen one. It's because we have opened up our minds, our spiritual relationship with God through Christ is a spiritual condition that has changed our ears and opened them so that we can hear Christ. And now we're the chosen ones. He didn't specifically choose an individual. It is the softening of our hearts over a period of time. Some people it happens right away, or like me, it takes 50 some odd years for God to work on me. Apparently, I was like a brick, and my spiritual condition changed only after a pounding from, I think sometimes Jesus Christ, but also from the devil. Pounded on me and me keep escaping, right? He would pound me down to the ground and somehow I'd dig my way out. He'd pound me down to the ground and he said, stay down. And then somehow God would stick his hand out, pull me out of the rubble. And now I'm a changed man in God and the chosen one, because I've opened up my spiritual heart. My spiritual condition has changed and my ears are open. And so I want to get to this thing because as I was thinking about that, I was reminded, and I want to say hi to Jody. Hi, Jody. Hi, Diane. Nice to have you here. Priscilla. And of course I said hi to Hedia. I'll just say hi to her again. And Amy. Hello, Amy. Nice to have you here. And so I hope that the devotional obviously makes sense. I hope that makes sense to where in my past, I was like, the chosen one seemed like such a egotistical thing to say about somebody or about yourself. But now it makes total sense. It makes total sense. Hey, Ann, nice to see you. She typed out her whole name there. And so that brings me to what we heard last night at Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, which was an important message. And it's always something else to hear Pastor Jack talk about, our country, what's going on with our country. Many Christians think that he should not be doing that. People that I know say, wow, he can't be talking about that stuff in church. And it's the exact opposite, right? He must talk about God has called upon all pastors to talk about what's going on in our world and what's going on around us, and to have an idea of who that we are putting in positions of power in our country, making sure they're in line with our Christian beliefs, and to vote appropriately for what that is, whether we win or not. God has called us to make sure that we are protecting children, that we are protecting families, that we are protecting others, that we are doing all we can to shape our world around us, and not only in us, but in our world around us through our vote and through our actions and through our beliefs. And so I now find it even more odd than I did before that there's Christians out there that say, oh, he shouldn't talk about those things. He shouldn't talk about politics. He shouldn't be talking about President Trump. And he shouldn't be talking about those things. And so when him and Amir Sarfati, sorry, it sounded really funny when I said that, were together, and you don't have to watch it. I'll see if I can put the Facebook URL in the chat. And that way, if you haven't seen it, Priscilla saw it. Oops, wow, she just zoomed up there. Priscilla says, last night's message was great and powerful. I wish I had made the trip to be there in person. It was awesome. And they have so much fun together. They appear to be really good friends and that kind of stuff, and seem to be really close. And I like that. But also the information and what they talked about was spectacular. So I'm going to share one part. And the reason I want to bring this up and how it correlates with the devotional is that there's also this misunderstanding that one person on earth is confused by non-believers or unbelievers. I'm not sure which way it is. Is it unbelievers or non-believers? Is it both? Can it be one or the other? that they think because we begin to look at somebody for a period of time as somebody that we think is important for our message or for our platform or our policy, that somehow because that's the person that we're looking to is now suddenly our leader, and then without him we're gone, right? And that he's now the chosen one, that Trump is the chosen one for all of us. That's not what this message says at all. It doesn't mean that because I love what Jack does as far as a pastor and he's the chosen one, it doesn't mean that if he's not around that I'm no longer a Christian, or that everything falls apart because Jack Hibbs is no longer around. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, because the media and unbelievers or non-believers have somehow believed that President Trump was now our God on earth, or was our Jesus Christ, which which is surely not the case, right? Because I even see comments and messages on social media that says, "Oh, now that Donald Trump's gone, now the Christians will all fall apart." What? We've been around for 2,000 years. What are you talking about? And so that's basically what Jack says here. So I hate to steal his thunder here. I'm going to share it in what he said in just a second. But I just wanted you to give you kind of a background of what he's going to be talking about here, because it's the kind of the same thing. The chosen one, me, does not mean I think I'm the chosen one as Jesus on earth. It means that I was chosen by God through his words as one of his disciples, or one of the people that is going to try to spread the word. And I'm going to show as an example of how I live my life for others to see how Christians should live. If I'm living as a Christian should live, then other people quite possibly could say, you know what, I want what that guy has. I want to live like that guy lives. I want a relationship that he has with Hedia and Hedia has with him. I want that. That's an example. We're living, hopefully we will live as an example of what a Christian couple looks like. And that is honoring God. And that's how we're the chosen ones, or chosen one, because now we are an example of how God wants a couple to live. That's our goal. My goal is to live how a chosen one father lives with his children, and how he teaches his children, how he disciplines his children, what he expects from his children as the chosen one. I hope that's all making sense. And so here we go. But again, that doesn't mean that when I'm gone, that now my children, our leader is gone and now they all go to the devil. No, they carry on. And that's the way it goes. All right. So here we go. All right. Yeah, our Lord doesn't come on Air Force One, right? All right, here we go. So we're going to bring that up to the stream, and I'm going to mute my mic. But listen to what Jack says here about that. He was just recently interviewed by a number of news organizations, and what he has to say here. Here we go.
I would come up short, but calling and asking, we want an interview. Listen, I'll cut to the chase, but this is what Time Magazine, Newsweek, Breitbart, New York Times, Washington Post, Orange County Register. I'm losing, it doesn't matter. This is the question they asked. It's like they got together and they said, we've got to ask Christians this question. And you need to remember this, all of you. They asked, what are you, the evangelical community, what are you going to do now without Trump? And I said, has the interview started? Is this it? Have we started for real? Yes. What are you guys going to do? So what do you mean we're going to do? Well, what are you going to do now? Well, we're going to do what we've done for 2,000 years. Nothing changes. And before he could ask another question, I said, I want to remind you that we're used to this stuff. We endured Nero, Diocletian. We endured the Roman Empire. We've been around for 2,000 years, and we're going to be around forever. Our existence, our hope, and our faith, and I've used the line that I've used for a long time, that people expect me to use it outside of the church. And I told the guy, I said, listen, if you've not heard, the Messiah is not arriving on Air Force One. And that's always been true. So the whole point was, why would the evangelical community vote for Donald Trump in record numbers in this last election? And I said, it's not that it's Donald Trump. It could have been a Democrat if he had the same policies. It was pro-life. It was pro-Israel. It was pro-religious freedom. And that's the truth. If any politicians out there that might be watching, Adam Krusheim, what's your name? Adam, if you want the evangelical vote next time around, listen, you've got to be pro-religious freedom, pro-life, right? You got to be pro-Israel.
And pro-facts.
Pro-facts would help. That's the issue. And all the media said the exact same thing. They were wrong. And I told them, you guys don't get it. If you don't get it, you're asking the wrong questions. You think that our faith has been rattled by a political outcome. And if that were the case, we would have perished 2,000 years ago.
Ah, that was so good. That was just, it was 90 minutes. I think it went on long. It may have been longer than 90 minutes. I'm not sure exactly how long it was, but it was well worth. It's well worth watching. I put the link in the comments, so just click on that and then watch it from the beginning. And there's lots of really good information in there and good things to think about as a conservative Christian. And I hope that wraps up that point, that although that Donald Trump, I don't know where his faith is necessarily. I know that he gets prayed over. I know that Jack has been, to the White House and is part of his spiritual team. I know that Mike Pompeo, I'm sure, works with him. So I'm not really quite sure. So whether he's the chosen one, like us, like me, and like Hedia, and like Amy, and all the other people, Priscilla, all the other people that are on here, Diane, and all the others that watch, those of you that haven't commented, that although that does not mean that once it means two different things. And so even I'm telling you, when I've heard that and seen that, I go, no, what do you mean he's the chosen one? What do you mean you're the chosen one? What do you mean that other guy's? It makes total sense now. So hopefully I brought this all together, that we sometimes speak a different language. I'm learning the language. I haven't quite learned all the language yet, but there's I have a great. I'm going to save it. I just discovered a new word and how to describe it and what it means. I cannot wait. I want to do it with one of my kids. It's going to be so exciting. But regardless of that, what I'm learning is that there's a language that Christianity has, not to be confusing, but it's just that we have a way. We have a way of saying things that even still confuses me to this day. And this was a time where it completely got translated for me, and now I completely understand it. And now I'm going to use it all the time. I cannot wait to tell people I'm the chosen one. Don't you know that? Well, what do you mean you're the chosen one? And I go, listen, and I'll say Isaiah was, he was like standing around, and they said, well, who God says, who's going to come with me? And I'm raised me, I'm going to do that. And at that instant, even though he didn't call on me specifically, I became the chosen one, because I had the conditions. My ears have been conditioned, and I became the chosen one. So it's so funny. Often referred to, oh, look at that. There's a name for it. Hedia says, often referred to Christianese. That's so funny. Yeah, I am learning so much. This has been fantastic. So, my friends, I love you guys. And I know Hedia is busy doing a whole bunch of stuff, running a bunch of errands. So I had to do this alone again. I've been having fun doing it as a couple. I think that sometimes that's been very, very good for both of us. But sorry, it's just me today. I apologize. Me and Jack. I got to share a little bit of Jack and a little bit of Amir. And so watch that. If you have time today, just to take a little 90 minutes and watch that, the message from last night. It was powerful. There were a lot of really good stuff. And they were speaking Christianese and straighten out some words there that I didn't quite understand until now. All right, my friends, anything else before anything else, Hedia? Or any of the other people that are watching? Did it make sense? Did what I say make sense? Did I translate properly? I hope so. Let's see. I want to bring up, for the people that are joining a little bit late, I just want to bring this up one more time, because I want to keep track of everybody. Not keep track in a bad way. Not like, oops, wrong one. Hold on. There it is. So I just want to put this up one more time. So right above me, patriotcoms.org, patriotcoms.org. type that into your browser and follow the directions. Put in your email address, hit submit, and then put your first name and then a password. And that way we have your information, Hedy and I do, so that we can tell you where we're going to be once we get taken down. I'm not sure if you've seen this on my page, but NBC News put me on the hit list. not literally, just through circumstances, by calling me a conservative Facebook TV show host or something. I forget exactly, but anyway, they said I was a conservative host of a Facebook show or something like that, which, without purposefully doing so, it just puts you on the radar. And at some point now, I think that it's only a matter of days if I continue in the path that I'm on, that I will be taken down at some point. So I don't want to lose contact with all of you, and I want to be able to continue to keep a relationship with you all, depending on where we're at. I've been trying to get on some of these other platforms that are available, but I can't seem to get on. It's been difficult. So we'll see. And so the only way I can think to do that is to send you to patriotcomms.org, and you to willfully give me your information. It's illegal, I think, in some standpoints, for me to take your information without your permission from any of the social media platforms. So I don't want to do that, obviously. I want you to voluntarily give me your name and email address, and then become part of the community, and also so that we can send you a newsletter. All right. So by going to patriotcomms.org, we'll be able to stay in communication with you and let you know where we're going to be. All right. Hope that works out for you. Let me see a couple more comments here. What about NBC? Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, but Hedy, you may speak Andanese and you understand things that other people don't understand. But thank you very much for saying that. And what about NBC? I'm not sure the question. Did you ask that before I answer the question? I had a guest the other night who, Leandra Blades, who went to the rally in Washington, D.C. And simply because she was there, as a political person here in Orange County, they're demanding her resignation from her political position here in Orange County on the school board. And so, and there's a petition out apparently. Some of the people, and we're going to go through this in another show later on, that are actually not. So one of you that are on right here, you asked, can you sign the petition for in favor of Leandra, whether you live in the district or not? And as far as I know, I think you can. And the reason I think so is because I would say a large number of the people that are asking, demanding her resignation, do not live in the district of where she is on the school board. People that are suggesting that are demanding her resignation do not live in the region where she is the school board member. So people that don't live and don't have a child within the school district where she's in the school board, if they can demand her resignation, then people that are outside that want her to stay in can also register for her, in her favor, for her to stay in her position there on the school board. So to answer Priscilla's question, the story has gotten national recognition, and in the story about this, about her, being called to resign, she gave me the exclusive interview, and in that interview, or in that news story, they showed that interview and called me a conservative Facebook host or something, whatever they called it. I don't even know. And so, which is good publicity, right? It's all good publicity, but that was on NBC News, by the way. And so I'm sure quite often these things are pulled out, and so they get picked up by other platforms and other things. So we'll see what happens with me as I get more notoriety for being a conservative. And so we'll see what happens there. All right, my friends, that is it. I appreciate you watching, and I just wish you to have a great day. Hedy is not here to say it, so I'm going to say it instead. And I wish you a fantastic, wonderful, blessed day, and just honor God today in some way. Find something that you can do. Is that call somebody, ask somebody how they're doing, and ask them if you can pray with them. That might be something you might do to honor God. But find something today to do that. I think that would be a really good thing to do. And so have a great day. God bless. Take care. Bye.